It's still the nation's number one talk news and sports radio station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's time for the Big Hard Facts. This is the home stretch on the show. And on the Big Hard Facts today, we're going to be talking about a journalist and several others who have been detained. According to the police, they were detained on orders from above. Yes, and as we speak, Daniel Ojukwu is still in custody as we speak. But let me give you a background, because some people will be wondering, who's Daniel Ojukwu? If you've not been following, I'll give you some background. Now, on May 1, the bustling streets of Lagos, a chilling incident unfolded as a journalist with the Foundation for Investigative Journalism, Daniel Ojukwu, vanished without a trace. As his phone numbers remained unreachable and his location remained a mystery, concern and dread mounted among Ojukwu's colleagues, family and friends. Fearing the worst, suspicions of Ojukwu's abduction loomed large, casting a somber shadow over those who knew him and highlighting the grave dangers faced by journalists in their relentless pursuit of truth. Now, on Thursday, May 2nd, the FIJ made a missing persons report at the police stations in the area where Ojukwu was headed at the time he went missing. However, on May 3rd, a private detective hired by the FIJ tracked the last active location of his phones to an address in Isheri Olofin, a location the organization believed was where the police originally picked him up. Ojukwu's family later learned that Daniel was being held at Panti, where authorities accused him of violating violating the Cybercrimes Act of 2015. Now, a relative of Ojukwu visited him and disclosed that authorities declined to provide contact details of the investigating police officer on jurisdictional grounds, as the case was beyond Lagos. The arresting officers are part of the Inspector General of Police's monitoring team. They said when they are done arresting the other people on their watch list in Lagos, they would transfer him and others to Abuja. This is what that relative from FIJ had said. Well, it has been 5 days since the intelligence response team of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Igbetokun, whisked Ojukwu away and detained him at the State Criminal Investigation Department, Panti, in Lagos. And this is the basis for our conversation. I did tell you that my guest will be joining us live in the studio. The former presidential candidate of the AAC, Omoyele Sowore, joins us live in the studio. I know that Lagos welcomed you very well. Welcome.
Thank you.
A lot of people were wondering that where's the Sowore that you said you were inviting, but Lagos traffic held him back, but he's here. So good to have you join us in the studio.
Thank you.
First and foremost, I must say that I appreciate what you're doing in helping Ojukwu and several others who are in his category. But tell me why you made that statement that senior police officers were frustrating the attempts to try to get him out.
What we found out was, when we first heard about his case and his transfer to Lagos, I went directly to the officers we thought were in charge, and they have a very interesting center in Abuja for cybercrime. And we also went as far as the DIG. And when we made the case for his immediate release, they said, well, there was an effort to have him present two shorties who are going to be directors in the civil service with landed property in Abuja. And I asked them what exactly was his crime. Why two shorties, as if he committed murder? And so we discovered very quickly that it was an attempt to frustrate his release. So we went to we even went as far as the DIG in charge of the FCID, and he recommended that they should let us take a senior journalist in Abuja. So we found somebody at the NUJ, the chairman of the NUJ Abuja chapter, went with us. The next day they went to his house, checked out his qualifications, verified his address, and then by the time they came back in the evening, they said he's not qualified to take his bail. So that was the point at which we knew that we had to change gear and engage in protest in front of the police headquarters.
What exactly is his charge, if there be any?
There's not. I was not even interested in asking for bail because they couldn't provide any concrete evidence of his crime. They claimed that he was engaged in cyber stalking and cyber bullying. As a journalist, you are not supposed to be charged for those crimes at all. But most importantly, the Cyber Crimes Act of 2015 had been amended, and the portion that might be related to him remotely, even if he was not a journalist, had been expunged completely as of February 2024.
So, in other words, the police has no grounds for holding this gentleman.
Not at all. So, and we told them this. They said, "Well, we're not aware of that, and when we find out, we'll do something about it." And
sorry, the police is admitting that they don't know the act on which they're carrying out this arrest on. They don't have any idea what the Constitution says.
I mean, I met with the deputy, I think it was deputy director of the Cybercrime Center, the police section that's in charge of cybercrime, and he said we should go and provide a copy if we have.
I'm sorry, is he not a law enforcement officer? Is he not supposed to know?
It's a law.
I mean, you're enforcing a law that you have no idea
It
of.
It wasn't about enforcing it. They're not enforcing it. They're enforcing their will. This is somebody knows the police, or they have the influence, and they're upset with someone who has written something they're not happy about, who's a journalist. They track him. Actually, they spent resources to track this guy down. They abducted him. And his family thought he would. In fact, there was an alarm by the family that he went missing before they traced him to Panti in Lagos. Nothing else. It was just.
So there was no warrant for his arrest. Nothing.
Well, they claimed that they wrote later that there was a warrant for it, that there was a court order. But he was arrested on May 1st. The court order they admitted was imposed. They had was on May 2nd. So the court order was after the fact.
I have a police. The police actually put out a statement about this gentleman, and I took a few shots from it, but it's too long a read, so I'll not read it. I try not, to go into the details of reading it. But the very interesting questions that were raised by a gentleman on social media who said the journalist actually did an investigative report about mismanagement of public funds.
Yes.
Now the police didn't investigate if there was any truth to it.
There was truth to it. They found out in the course of their own investigation that these guys at the FIJ did a thorough investigation, and they actually even applied for an FOI, Freedom of Information thing, to get details of the facts. What happened was that this former SSA to Buhari awarded a contract under the SDG through a school that is not qualified to run such a contract. 140 million naira. That's what happened. It's not hidden. The police found that this was true. One of them confided in us that the report was spotless, but the IG had a private interest in the matter.
Why would the Inspector General of Police have a private interest in a matter that is glaringly mismanagement of public funds?
Well, it's great that you asked that question, because that same outfit, the FIJ, that wrote the story and that got Ojukwu into trouble, also wrote a report about the IG.
I do remember the customs issue.
Yes, so he linked the IG to a smuggler. So the IG has been looking for a way to deal with them. So, in the Nigerian palace, deal with them. So they found this as a very convenient way. So they found a fall guy in Lagos, abducted him, and started pulling him around. The truth is that if they had anything against him, they would have charged him within 48 hours. That's what the law says.
So the police is holding Mr. Ojukwu illegally as we speak, because it's been more than 48 hours.
Well, it's been released.
Oh, he's been released as we speak.
Yes.
Right now.
He's been free. He was free the day after we went to protest.
Perfect.
Yes, at
Perfect.
their headquarters.
So he's
They-
he's home now. You're certain that he's
Well, I don't know
home
where he is, but he's not in police custody as
anymore.
we speak. Yes,
Perfect.
that I know of. So.
Let's talk about bullying of journalists. I know that you faced your own fair
Oh
share.
yeah, it's,
I remember. I remember sometime. I think 2 years ago, if not 3 years ago, I interviewed you like today,
Yes.
and the next day you were picked up.
Absolutely. In fact, what brought me to Nigeria was the cybercrime accusation and charge.
Yes.
That's why I came to Nigeria. So while he was being moved from Lagos to Abuja, I was in a dock facing
Yes,
a
I saw
cybercrime
that
trial.
video. Yes.
So yeah.
So you've had your fair share.
Uh-huh.
Why do you think that this bullying, because it's not just about the Tinubu administration, it keeps happening under successive governments. We've seen it happen over and over again, maybe under some governments more than the others. Why have we become such an easy target for politicians and public office holders?
I would say that I blame the journalists themselves.
How so?
Well, because there's supposed to be a Nigerian Union of Journalists.
There is a Nigerian Union of
Well,
Journalists.
I suppose. And they are completely almost silent on matters like this. The journalists in Nigeria ought not to have allowed the Cybercrime Act of 2015 to be so broad that now they are caught up in it. That's what journalists do all over the world. They protect their own interests because journalists are not just regular people. They are people who are constitutionally empowered to do what they are doing. They are like the Nigerian army, the Nigerian police, except that in their own case, the government doesn't pay them. They don't recruit them. They are recruited by individuals. Of course, government also recruits journalists
Yes.
in their own
Government-owned facilities,
government-owned media platforms. So, journalists ought to have kicked against this. They shouldn't have accepted a Cybercrime Act of 2015 to last 2 days. And the moment it became an albatross, I'd expected them last Thursday that we were there. All the journalists in this country would have come out and said, no, we don't accept this. This should be the only reports you'll be hearing. Blackout in Nigeria, Nigerian government until they do something about it. If we had not showed up protesting and embarrassing the police on Thursday last week, this guy would still be in
Ojukwu will still be
detention.
held.
I can guarantee you that because there's another guy
Who's still being held?
who is being held for cybercrime.
Yeah.
He's a blogger, Ijele, and he's been there now for 50-something days and at Kefi prison. Several other people like that are held under the same circumstances. There's a young girl that was jailed for, I think, 3 years. Now she's out for cybercrime. And let me make it clear, this is not applicable to just people in government alone.
Yes.
It's a whole conspiracy, Traditional rulers do it. The Jele one was a prophet, a so-called prophet in the East who believes in God but does not think God can fight for him. He needs the godless Nigerian police to come and help him jail somebody who said something on Facebook he didn't like. We have another guy who was sent to prison after he couldn't meet his bail condition by the GO of MFM. So all these people work together to just the assault the fundamental rights of Nigerians who are expressing themselves freely. Now they will say, "Well, you tell a lie against me. These cases are civil, If you say I tell a lie against you,
Let's go to court.
Go to court. Let's go to a civil court." But they know that they can't win cases like this in civil court because the civil court will make it impossible for them to cut corners.
But then what does this say about our system per se, whether it be law enforcement, the judicial process in itself, and the whole policing system? Because if it's a civil case, why does the police constantly have the right to put people behind bars without getting a day in court and nothing's done about it? And so people, if I have someone or I know someone in a high place, I can also throw someone in jail and let them rot.
But that's what
and it's something that we say out loud that I'll put you in jail and you rot and nothing can happen. What does that say about our system? Because what on the one hand, we're holding the jugglers of politicians and calling them names, but then we're also doing the same thing.
Well, this is why I said the pressure groups, including the National Union of Journalists, CSOs that are supposed to stand out And even all these people that are affected who would wait until it's their turn, yeah, will wait until it's their turn before they act. It's they're also, everybody's supposed to be up in arms against this kind of laws, this kind of police practice. This is police abuse. In other countries, what the IG did could have led to his summary removal as an IG, because journalism is not something you toy with, and journalism is too important to be left to journalists alone. That's why I don't claim to be a journalist. I see myself as a citizen reporter. I'm a busybody, but what I do, if it is regarded as journalism, there's nothing you can do about it, because it is not the job of police to tell what the Nigerian police is trying to do, and all these people that are collaborating, are conniving and conspiring with them, is to force journalists only to publish things they approve of in Nigeria. So if you write something that the police someone is not happy about, you have to go and explain it at the police station. When I was arrested in 2021 by the police, they asked me to come and give statement. I made it very clear to them, I'm not going to write a statement. You can do whatever you want. I said, because they said, why? I said, you don't even understand journalism. That's why you're doing this. And they eventually dragged me before a judge. And I told the judge, I said, you are wasting your time. You have other serious matter to handle. Even the police, there's Boko Haram, bandits everywhere, kidnappers. You are not using police resources to protect the public. You are using it to protect the criminals in our society who are really, really guilty of corruption. That's what we're getting from the Nigeria police force.
I want to ask a question. I'm looking at my time. I have just 1 minute, 20 seconds. Let's see if you can just scratch the surface. What we also see, it's something that bothers me, because you see, most journalists are not allowed to join some of these groups, this NUJ and blah, blah, blah. And then for even those who join these groups, they really don't hold or wield the powers that can, shake the police or even the government. Again, for those other journalists who sometimes become prey to the police, half the time, their media houses let them be fall guys. They don't support them.
Yeah.
So, again, it begs the question, why be a journalist in Nigeria?
Well, there has to be a journalist because, as you know, what most people don't know is journalism is the oldest profession in the world. Some people said it's prostitution, but it's not.
Actually.
It is not. Do you know why? It was journalists that found out that people were doing prostitution.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
So you cannot just take it for granted. But what is happening is that the spectrum of journalism has broadened beyond, the circumstantial, conventional journalism of print. Now, the biggest media company in the world is not a journalism concern. It's a social media platform. Everybody, CNN, everybody now must first and foremost go and register on Twitter and Facebook before they can get across to as many people as they should. That tells you that platform is too dynamic, and that is why I say anytime the police is interfering with it, they're not only interfering with journalism, they're interfering with the livelihood of a lot of people. You know what happened to Nigeria when Buhari shut down Twitter? A lot of people suffered because for a lot of our young people, that was their own office. That was our own little means of making money. And when even Twitter monetized, a lot of people made some quick bucks.
Yeah, actually.
And now Facebook is going monetization. And what they're doing is going to promote journalism. And let me say, which is important.
In 10 seconds,
there's nothing anybody can do about, media. It's just wasting their time.
Say goodbye to charging fees with Infinix Note 40 fast charging, ensuring you're powered up from boardrooms to hangouts. Enjoy the stunning 108 megapixel iOS zoom camera and capture memorable moments every day. There's more. Purchase the Infinix Note 40 and get a 3 months free subscription to Showmax to enjoy all the action of the English Premier League football matches and the latest blockbuster movies.
What are you waiting for? Head over to any authorized Infinix retail store nationwide and get your Infinix Note 40 today. Terms and conditions apply.
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 no-lie relaxer kit. We get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
What? Me, I know deal.
You're not even sabi waiting the apple for town. You see this Lush Hair relaxer so?
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
Na so, Lush Hair relaxer kit na correct. We no go make your hair cut. We no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well. Come buy your own.
Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
Every parent wants to see their child growing up happy and healthy. Introducing Renzo Vitamins for Kids, a secret to your child's daily nutrition and boundless joy. With Renzo Vitamins, your child will have the energy to embrace every moment and unlock their full potential. Give your child a head start in life with Renzo Vitamins for Kids, because a happy child is a healthy child.
Mommy, my teacher said 90% of my brain will develop by the time I am 5.
Really? What else did she say?
She said I need iron in my food for my brain to grow well.
Oh, very true. And that's why I give you Cerelac Junior every day, which provides half of your daily iron needs.
And Cerelac Junior tastes so good.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good,
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 no-lie relaxer kit. We get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
What? Me, I know deal.
You're not even sabi waiting the apple for town. You see this Lush Hair relaxer so?
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
Na so, Lush Hair relaxer kit na correct. We no go make your hair cut. We no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well. Come buy your own.
Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
As a mom and a dentist, I know the importance of strong teeth, beautiful white smile, and fresh breath. They give you the confidence to eat the right foods without worry, speak confidently in public, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent's Triple Protection 1, 2, 3. It's 3 toothpaste in 1 to protect their teeth from holes, give them white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent's Triple Protection 1, 2, 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, Football Fan Festival in Nigeria is back. It's Goal Fest 2024, featuring exhilarating games, food, comedy, live music by some of the Nigerian musician superstars, and you can watch the UEFA Champions League final on a super huge screen. Goal Fest 2024 will take place on the 1st of June at the Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Amadabella Way, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 12 noon. Limited tickets available. Get your tickets now at www.goalfestnigeria.com or at 267A at Timian Crescent, VI Lagos. Goal Fest 2024 is powered by Femi and the Gang and Football Republic. Proudly refreshed by Pepsi. Ladies and gentlemen,
Boys and girls, introducing the first of its kind in Nigeria.
the first radio just for kids. It's here at 101.7 Kids FM.
Are you serious?
Oh, yes.
It's going to be fun for kids on your airwaves 24/7.
Talking about from exciting games
Check.
to juicy gist
Double check.
and great music.
Super check.
All these and more on your number one PlayStation 101.7 Kids FM.
Don't be the last to join the train. Download the Kids FM app on your iOS or Play Store today and stay tuned on the go.
You can stream on our website at kidsfm.ng.
You can also follow us on all socials at kidsfm.ng and stand a chance to be one of the super kids.
On 101.7 Kids FM. Remember, it's no dull moments on Kids FM.
So tune in and stay locked on 101.7 Kids FM.
Let's play.
New Lafarge Water Shield Cement now confirm. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. Yeah. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. Yeah. New Lafarge water shield cement number one. New Lafarge waterproof cement na confirm.
One time.
Put full stop for water wahala. With Lafarge water shield cement, water go collect. If water jam house, or the shade, foundation and basement to call, no shaking. Obonga cement for water locked areas. Number one waterproof cement for Naija. Lafarge, na confirm. Cement, new Lafarge water shield cement na confirm.
Put full stop for water wahala.
Nigerian Idol is back.
The stage don't set. Una go scream tire. When you hear all the sabi contestants, the new judges, Omawumi, Nice, and Rick Hazani don't prepare. But now you will they wait for. Run, go arrange your Go TV. Ready your vote and your voice to hail our superstars. May they shine.
Yes, so watch Nigerian Idol Season 9 from the 21st of April by 7 p.m. on Africa Magic. Go TV. Love it.
Enjoy the delicious creamy goodness of cowbell. Cowbell contains Vitarich and vitamin B9, which supports brain development. Use cowbell in your tea, cereal, pap, and other meals of choice. Cowbell, so creamy, so good.
Say goodbye to charging fears with Infinix Note 40 fast charging, ensuring you're powered up from boardrooms to hangouts. Enjoy the stunning 108 megapixel iOS zoom camera and capture memorable moments every day. There's more. Purchase the Infinix Note 40 and get a 3 months free subscription to Showmax to enjoy all the action of the English Premier League football matches and the latest blockbuster movies.
What are you waiting for? Head over to any authorized Infinix retail store nationwide and get your Infinix Note 40 today. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info. This is Hard Facts.
There's a reason why over 1 million people tune into Hard Facts every day. We discuss in-depth stories with sources behind the facts.
The Lagos State High Court sitting in
suspended the Chicago certificate story is never going away, is it? Show with stories for the day.
You hear diverse voices and opinions.
And she was meeting her friend with her husband, knowing that.
You should not feel happy because there is nothing to happy about.
Yeah, it's quite pathetic the way the country is going.
We distinguish each story accurately with analysis.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
We're back. It's still the Big Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in its Mayan Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. I still have in the studio Omoyele Sowore. We're still talking about press freedom and the constant bullying of journalists across the country. And we're talking case study, of course, of Mr. Ojukwu. Thankfully, he's been released, but there are others who are still in custody. Where does this stop? Of course, as we all know, journalism and journalists are the fourth estate of the realm. Imagine a world without journalists balancing the scale. I'm imagining what that would be, what that state would be. But then my guests mentioned something about the fact that we don't appreciate the importance of journalism or journalists anywhere in this country. And I don't think it's just about Nigeria, Mr. Sowore. I think it's also about the African continent. We're yet to embrace fully the importance and the impact and the import of journalism, in whatever state.
Well, it's important to let people know that most of the countries that underwent war in the 80s were countries with one TV station and one radio station controlled by the government. And when you suppress opinions, you suppress anger, you suppress people, and make sure they don't have freedom of speech, then something is going to have to happen one day. And it's an African disease. I'm talking about African leadership disease to want to control the media. But what the Nigerian elite has done differently, having understood that the military couldn't really quite muzzle or didn't quite succeed in muzzling the press, was that since 1999 or 2000, they started establishing their own media houses. The president of Nigeria today, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is one of the biggest owners of media platforms. Several radio stations. He owns TVC News. He owns the Nation newspaper. I don't know how many hidden investment he has in several other platforms. So he has done that, anticipating today that one day he would need to control the media. But the best way to control the media is to own one or several. It's just like, that old saying that if you want to rob a bank, you're going to get a bank license. So that's what has happened in Nigeria. So when you are blaming media, the the journalism unions, you have to also understand that whomever pays the piper, they takes the tune. So, but the reason why they're losing their minds is because social media has added insult into their injuries, and they just can't figure out how newspapers exist without physical offices. That people just have briefcases and laptops and devices, and they are publishing what the big media houses with gigantic houses and offices and equipments cannot do. That's why the police are then deployed to do this. But we must also not forget that this is the history of the Nigerian police. Nigerian police was never designed to protect Nigerians. It has.
That's a whole conversation for another day.
Yes.
That's a whole different conversation.
It's a pre-colonial, neo-colonial police that is out there to protect. What they're doing now is what they were doing during
protecting the
the
interests of the
colonial era.
master.
Yes, this is what the white people used to call sedition. If you write something against the white man, they will jail you. That's what pretty much that section 24 of the Cyber Crimes Act is all about.
I'm going to let Lagosians get into the conversation, but before we go, we need to understand or ask the question of how do we protect the average Nigerian journalist? But that will be, at the end of this conversation. But Lagos, you can join the conversation, 0700 993 993 993. You could also call 0201 465 7190 if you are a lady. Or if you're listening to us and watching us from outside of the country, we're on Skype, Nigeria Info FM. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. On our live stream, post your comment, your questions. Would like to hear it on Facebook Live also. Feel free to post your comments and would like to hear from you. You have only 60 seconds. Go straight to the point and say what you have. Hello. All right, call me back if that was you. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hi, Maryann. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to your guest as well.
Good evening.
First off, good evening, sir. I want to commend you for the job you're doing. And I believe what you've done, you and the other people have really lent credence to the voice of other journalists as well. Now, first off, what's the stand of the Association of Journalism, the NUJ, on this issue, this bullying, so that it will be nipped completely in the bud? That's one. Two, I commend your days of activism, and I know you want to get to the highest place in the land to nip some certain bad attitudes of bad governance in the board. And that was why you contested in the last election. But, sir, honestly, I love you as an activist more than being my president. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts. Do call me back if that was you. Someone says, I'm afraid though, no more freedom of press. No need to be careful. No need to be careful talking on radio, because if they carry one at home, no one will know. Nigeria Info or any Nigeria Info fans, we need to be careful of what we say on radio. Folake from Shango, really. Hello.
Good evening, Miriam.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Robert. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Robert. How are you?
I'm so delighted to hear your voice directly and also speak to you. I don't have much to say than to commend you, sir. I've seen you on several occasions fighting for Nigeria, especially the poor, the downtrodden, those who don't have, the wherewithal to fight for themselves. God will continue to bless you, sir. And by the grace of God, we are looking forward to you becoming our president one day. Not one day, very close. That is my prayer for you, sir. You are the Ganipa me of our time. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert, for calling. Someone here says the entire union of journalists and the media should take this arrest very seriously and, if need be, get very well-meaning masses to protest against this evil that's setting up. You people should take them to court. He says this is an injustice. All right, this one says it appears that in Nigeria at present, after the NSAS, no one wants to fight for anybody again. They have weakened the strength of the people. We appear, I'm sure he means we see people waiting for God. What can we do for ourselves, including me, myself? The Yoruba people will say, he who has no mother should avoid injury on his back simply because no one will come to his rescue. Olawale from Ijaniki. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, Maryann.
Good evening.
I greet you.
Good evening.
Lapuchku is my name.
Lapuchku, go ahead, please.
I greet your guest, Sowore.
Thank you. Good evening.
Okay. You see, I just want to thank you for your efforts and your, contribution. Whatever it takes you, God will replace it. To make sure that this gentleman, this journalist is out. You see, at times, police, their hands are tied up, They want to obey the law, to obey the instruction, the orders given to them, from above. Yeah, but at the same time, we cannot keep quiet. People have to speak out, No matter the intimidation and the frustration you want get, we must speak out to get this wrong act, out of our society.
Okay.
That is what I want to say. Thank you for the job well done, and God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Turn off your radio, please.
Good evening.
Yes.
This market woman.
Go ahead, market woman.
Good evening.
Market woman, good evening.
How
market today?
God bless you. The market woman, no.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. See, may I remind you of one thing. You know when Fela was shouting, there was two people Fela was fighting against in this country. When we want to have a president, is it not those two people vote for in this country? Nigeria, we are not serious yet. But God will bless you for the good you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, market woman, for calling. Someone here says, Maryann, the media in Nigeria will continue to face harassment and bullying if they continue to allow themselves to be used by big people in society in order to blackmail their opponent. A lot of journalists in Nigeria today are brown envelope journalists. Our politicians have corrupted them. Olu from Badagry. Okay. 0700 993 993 993 0201 465 7190. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, this is Christopher calling from.
You need to speak up, Christopher, so we can hear you.
Yeah, Christopher speaking from Lagos City. Hello, are you with me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the issue at stake now, they are done with the masses. The next stage now is the journalists. They want to clamp down because they know the journalists are the one bringing us information to the masses. That's why the next owner is the journalists. I just hope they will not just like that proceed by bringing down the masses. This issue about grandmaster in this country, if me personally, Christopher, manipulate his way to become president, there are some certain people, either in the armed forces, that assisted me. So from them, I cannot control them because they have information that I, Christopher, have manipulated his way to the presidency. By the time I'm talking, if I give order, they will not take order. If somebody like Oga Sowore, I greet you there.
Thank
I
you.
just hope you will continue.
All right.
I greet you.
Thank you very much for calling. 60 seconds is all you have. Go straight to the point. Hello.
Good evening, Maryann.
Good evening.
Good evening to Sowore, the great activist in the studio.
Thank you. Good evening.
Emeka is my name from Satellite Town. Hello?
Emeka, you have 60 seconds. Go ahead. You've done 10 already.
These Nigerians have to wake up because the media, as the fourth realm and the fourth estate in the realm, must be protected so that this society will not be deformed. Because society that's not informed becomes a deformed society. And we're up against people who really want us to be deformed. Even when we are conscious of certain things, they still go ahead to shove it down our throat, regardless of how painful it is. So injustice to one should be considered as injustice to all. NUJ must stand up. When one of their own is being prosecuted, they must all unite, including the Nigerian workforce, and understand how important the media is to Nigerians. So I want to thank you all for the good job you're doing, and I want to say to Sowore, keep up the good work, and let us continue.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, Emeka. I've got 7 minutes on the clock. Let's see if we can race the clock. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, Maryann.
Mm-hmm.
And good evening, Mr. Sowore.
Good evening.
Good evening, yeah. My name is Boyesin, and I am calling from Afromedia, Ojo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad speaking with you this evening. Mr. Sowore, you see, honestly speaking, we need people like you to be the president of this country. But it's unfortunate. It is rather unfortunate that they will not, the powers that be will never allow such to be. And I don't know why. So all I want to do is I want to encourage you in what you are doing. Your activism is working. I want you to continue with it. And I pray that one day, we'll have somebody like you as the president. Not these ones that will turn around to fight the people again, to turn around to fight people again.
Okay.
But I know that, but just promise us that one day, if you get there, you will not do like others. When they get there, they will turn deaf ears.
All right. Thank you, Boris. And your 60 seconds is up. Oche Polycarp on Facebook Live says, good afternoon, Omoyele Sowore. Nigerians love suffering by not allowing you to become president of the country. When Nigerians are ready to take over their country, they will vote for you to clear the mess in this country. This is how presidents supposed to speak to public, not the mentality of the derailed people from years to years. Okay. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts. Turn off your radio, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Turn off your radio. I don't want to hear myself.
Okay. I'll put it up. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Kelvin. I'm calling from traffic. Mr. Sowore, I greet you and I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
But there's something that you just confirmed to me, and I want to say it is on the flip side. You said in early days, people fight war or caused war because the people have been suppressed by the media because they were owned by few media were owned by government and control. Now that is we have Facebook at many platforms, and everybody can now air their view. Everybody can chat on Facebook and do everything on social media. I don't think there will ever be a time that this country can fight for themselves. So once we finish talking, we get into our house and we keep quiet there. And the government of the day will use us the way they like. So how do we address this?
Okay.
How do we put our talk into action?
All right. Good question. I have to let you go because of time. He's asking a question there. How do we put our talk into action? How do we address it?
That's exactly the point. Is that you have no idea how many things people in government would have done to you had there not be social media platforms, had there not be some independent media platforms around the country.
Mm-hmm.
They would have shut down a country, like they would have sold the country without your knowledge, and you find yourself one next morning and you belong to China.
Very funny.
So you can't take these things for granted. But I also agree with him that people sometimes have to drop their keyboards and put boots on the ground. That's important.
But let me ask you, I like how he set the premise for my next question, which is, where do we go from here? Someone also mentioned that after NSAS, we all just went cold. Nobody wants to stick their head out. I mean, it's just a few of you who keep protesting, and many people will say it's because you're looking for a payday. And once you're given that money, you'll just go abroad as usual and just chill. and you will not make any more noise.
Well, I don't think they're referring to me.
They're referring to you, and I'm saying it to you that
No,
they're
they
saying
can't be referring
that
to
you're
me
doing
because
it for the money. That
they can't
you
be.
were once a pawn in the hands of politicians. All of a sudden,
that's not true.
you are now an activist.
No, I've been doing this for 33 years. 33 years. Some of you who would even say this carelessly were not born when I started. I'm not referring to you.
Oh, you can't be me. I'm
Yeah.
not 33.
But you're probably young when I started at 22. Yeah. So
I like it when people say I'm young.
Well, I'm sure I'm probably a little older than you, but
yes, you are.
Yes, but I've been around for a long time, and it was never about money. Even when it came to making money, I was the one who started Star Reporters by myself with a laptop, and I wasn't based in the U.S. I wasn't based in Nigeria, and today I do not accept. While I was running Star Reporters, adverts from government. I do not accept adverts from people with questionable sources of wealth. It was just mostly publishing and getting some income from foundation and some income from publishing and Google ads and all that. So I'm just saying I don't belong in that category. With due respect, nobody can accuse me of. I've challenged anybody who has ever given me money before. When I was 22 years old, I met Abiola. The photo is there. You probably come across it before. And he was distributing money like water in his house at the cage. I rejected 800,000 naira when it was big deal. In those days, cars were sold for 10,000 naira. So if I rejected it then, why would I be part of it now? So, and I can tell you, if we have more time, but I don't have time for that.
So where do we go from here? How do we get people to find their teeth?
Exactly. And you mentioned NSAS. That's exactly the point. What was wrong with NSAS is that it was a revolutionary movement, which, by the way, was mobilized by social media. But, when revolutionary movements come upon a nation, it needs revolutionary leadership. And that was absent from NSAS. A lot of people who were leaders of NSAS, with due respect, have never done it before. So when the state came, everybody just fizzled out. And when we were, there are some internal issues at NSAS where we were saying, look, let the experts, people who know how to do it, lead. Said no, because some people thought the NSAS struggle was skit making. In fact, some of them were coming there to make skits. But we told them, we're saying it in advance. I was one that said, when the state is tired of the joke, they'll come and ruin the place for you. And that's what exactly they did. Yes. So, and now we've learned that lesson. But it's never going to go away. One day the people will organize again and will rise up and learn from their past mistakes and bring about a revolutionary movement. That's why people like us don't go away. We are very hopeful that the people of this country will take back their country one day. And it's looking like it's going to be very soon.
Omoyele Sowore is a former presidential candidate of the AAC, and of course he says he's not a journalist. He doesn't like to be called a journalist. He's a busybody. Yes. That's a new one. Thank you so much for coming into the studio. I know you had a very long day, but you still tried to make it into the studio. We're hoping that some change will come through journalism, and we'll get a Nigeria where we're being appreciated, and maybe a police force also that is for the people.
No, it's very important that the police force. I always think about them too, because at the end of the day, they're the ones who will retire without benefits,
and we'll be back. They'll be back here
to the same society where they have been oppressed.
Yes, and then we'll have to speak for them.
Bad for them.
Well, I want to say thank you, Lagos. This is where we wrap things up. I have to let my guests go, but when we come back from this break, I will say my proper goodbye. Stay with us.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.